Okay, I'd like to create a sacred space and only connect with beings of the highest frequency, love, and light. So, am I connected to beings of love and light? Yes. Am I connected to beings of love and light? Yes. Am I connected to beings of love and light? Okay, perfect. Okay, who are we connected to at this time? SPIRIT, spirit guides. Okay, hi, spirit guides. So, spirit guides, is there anything you'd like to share with us today? I know we were talking about some topics that might be of interest related to COVID and some things I saw on social media from a spiritual group talking about COVID and the COVID vaccine. So, is that a topic you'd like to address? Yes, okay. Well, I guess I don't know if you'd like to just share your thoughts on COVID generally, if that was a man-made, if COVID was truly a virus that caused others to leave the experience, the divine origins and messages from COVID, just anything you'd like to share about the whole COVID experience at this time. COVID, COVID, WAS was, AWAKE, wake up call to those who were not in touch with their spirituality. Okay. So, was it divinely orchestrated? That's a big yes. Okay. So, in other words, it was kind of like not an exit point that are kind of a pre-planned event, but sort of like a global or human collective event to cause us to maybe stop with our regular lives, busy, crazy lives, and maybe reflect and introspect and look into topics like spirituality and even creativity and look at the world from a different perspective. Is that, now I'm kind of just speculating there. Does that seem accurate, spirit guides? Yes, very much so. Okay, anything else about it? I'm curious if it had anything, is there anything nefarious about it? Okay, so it wasn't necessarily like an ET race creating some kind of event for control, or even beings in the incarnation looking for power and control of humanity, because that does happen. But this particular virus and occurrence in the collective was not from control, beings in control or trying to maintain or keep control of humanity in the incarnation. No. Okay, fair enough. Okay, thank you, spirit guides. Now I guess we're kind of getting into the vaccine, and this is where things might get a little more complicated. Was the vaccine divinely orchestrated? Okay. Can you tell us more about the vaccine and its ramifications for spiritual growth and understanding about who we truly are, if you don't mind? Yes. The vaccine was a way to control the masses and create a sense of fear and the inability to rely on yourself as a divine being for answers. Okay. Now, my consciousness stepped back a little bit there, and I kind of even didn't remember what you just said. But what I think you said is the vaccine was a way for humans to control the masses and prevent them from understanding who they are and trusting in themselves as divine beings to make decisions. Okay. Did it do anything to prevent a recurrence of COVID or help us in, dealing with COVID symptoms or anything like that? So in other words, what I think you're saying, Spirit Guides, is that the vaccine itself did nothing to help us spiritually. It was more of a deterrent and a fear tactic to create a sense that we need the government to protect us and we can't protect ourselves. That's what I think you're kind of saying. Is that correct? Very much so. Okay. Yeah, and a lot of people, especially in the spiritual communities, have talked about that over the years as it being a control mechanism, especially that it was required before we could move forward with our regular daily lives in the incarnation. Many times, this is going back a number of years now, but okay, that's really interesting. Now, another thing that people were talking about in this particular forum was that they call it the jab. Those who didn't receive the jab, as you would call it, were able to connect to their divine self in an easier fashion, or there weren't as many roadblocks to connection with their higher self and who they truly are, because they didn't get the shots. Now, is that accurate? Okay, and that's a very big yes, and that's really interesting. Now, as you know, I did get the vaccine. This was before my spiritual awakening. I was around a lot of people in a high state of fear, and I felt like I had to do it, like many people did at the time, based on what I was being told from the government. I mean, so many of us did. So, clearly I'm connected now. So did this COVID vaccine have an impact on my ability to connect spiritually with you, with other divine beings? And you're still saying yes, and that kind of surprises me. I thought you were going to say no. So can you explain that? Why was I able to connect even after I had the vaccine? Because of who you are as an ascended master. Okay, so yeah, my spirit guides know I don't like this very much, because they've told me over and over that I'm an ascended master who I incarnated to assist in the evolution of consciousness. And I don't like it because I don't want to feel like there's anything about me that's different than anybody else, because I'm just in the incarnation just like everybody else. There's so much I don't remember due to the veil of forgetfulness, spiritual amnesia. But you've told me this so many times. So is that really the main reason why I was able to connect? And maybe if I hadn't had that, I don't know what you want to call it, role or something like that in the astral plane, I wouldn't have been able to. Okay, so that's really interesting. Okay, so can you explain what we can do for those who got the vaccine to, I guess, circumvent that or move past it? Is it possible to move past it, to reconnect with our true self and higher self in this incarnation? Yes. Okay. How do we go about doing that, spirit guides? How do we go about doing that? Set the intention to connect with your higher self and meditate. Okay, so it's again just what we've talked about before, but would it be a little bit more difficult? Like, I don't want to say we have to try harder, but maybe we just have to put more of an effort in because of something that vaccine did. Okay, can you explain what exactly it did do? Because I don't even know what it did. You can't even explain what it did to us? No, why can't you explain why it did what it did to us? Because if we tell you there are impediments to your spiritual growth, we assist in creating that outcome. Okay. So I think what you're saying is we just need to kind of, I don't want to say pretend like it didn't happen, or just move past it, kind of like living in the present moment, understanding who we are as divine beings, and not giving it power to control our ability to reconnect with our true essence. Would that be a good way to explain that? Yes. Okay. The vaccine did calcify the pineal gland in some. However, you are source energy and you can prevent this phenomenon from preventing your connection with your true identity. Okay. So it did have an impact. It did have an impact, but we can change who we are in the present moment and manifest our intention, which is to reconnect. So it almost sounds like, and I apologize if I'm just repeating myself, but it almost sounds like what you're saying is there's a bit of a default after the COVID vaccine of a non-connection. It's like, but we can overcome that, maybe is the word. We can overcome that by setting the intention as source energy and meditating to get back to where we were before the vaccine. And that is like flying out of my hand. Okay, so with that, so we have to put a little bit of effort in, I think is what you're saying. We have to be clear in our intentions because the default is a disconnection after the COVID vaccine. Okay, how interesting. Okay, is there anything else you want to tell us about any of that experience or the vaccine or the pineal gland or anything about any of this? Don't let outside forces prevent you from realizing your true identity. Okay, so again, like we always say, look within yourself. Don't create thoughts and thought forms that create a negative outcome or an outcome that you don't truly want, and set the intention for what knowledge you want to obtain in this incarnation. So if you want to understand who you truly are as a source energy being, as a divine source being, you need to set that intention clearly so that that information can be given back to you. Yes. Okay. Very much so. Okay, spirit guides. Thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to share about this or anything else before we wrap up this session? We love this channel and we are eternally grateful to her for sharing these messages. Okay. Thanks, spirit guides. I'm grateful to you and all the divine beings, spirit guides, archangels, higher levels of consciousness beings who are helping us through this ascension process. It's not easy. It's confusing at times. But it's also an amazing time. It's an exciting time. So thank you, spirit guides. We will connect to you soon.